as an artist, you work with many musicians. And some of them you really love working with because they not only give a little bit extra something to the music, but when they accompany you, they just make you feel that little bit better. So I'd like to introduce my friend and guest, Peggy O'Keefe.
Margaret Patricia O'Keefe was born on a farm in Warrnambool. After a good education, both musical and academic at St Anne's College, she attended the Melbourne University Music Conservatorium, where she studied violin, piano, singing and harp. Whilst there, she was a classmate of Douglas Gamely, who also travelled to Britain and found great fame as a pianist, orchestra leader and arranger, most notably arranging the bulk of Dame Joan Sutherland's lighter repertoire. Before departing Melbourne in 1960, Peggy had already built up a solid reputation as a pianist, appearing on radio broadcasts and working as an accompanist to artists in nightclub cabaret. After her arrival in London, Peggy picked up where she had left off back in Australia. She had not been in London long before she was playing in jazz trios and quartets in establishments such as the Stork Rooms and the Riverside Club. It was during this spell that she played for and rubbed shoulders with artists like Sammy Davis Jr., Tony Bennett, Dame Cleo Lane, Dizzy Gillespie, Oscar Peterson, and renewed an old and special friendship with legendary bass player Ray Brown. In 1962, Peggy signed a contract with the Rio Starkis Hotel Empire and travelled to Glasgow to commence her residency for 6 months in the Chevalier Casino. The 6 months eventually became 6 years, and during this time she presented many series of live music programs from the casino with a star-studded list of guests. At this time, Peggy had also been discovered by the BBC and Scottish television, and she went on to present many music programs both on television and radio right through until the 1980s. She was probably one of the busiest pianists used by the BBC and Scottish television. As well as her own programs, she was acting as a staff pianist, taking responsibility for accompanying auditions, recitals, singers, and musicians on entertainment programs, as well as playing piano within most of the BBC's ensembles. From jazz trios through chamber groups and big bands to the BBC Radio Orchestra and the BBC Scottish Symphony Orchestra. It was often said that you could hardly put on a BBC programme which included musicians and not see Peggy O'Keefe among them.
I feel a lovely song coming on. Can anyone play the piano? You? It's difficult. What's your name? Peggy? Come up and have a look at it, Peggy. Oh. Shame, isn't it? Well, do your best, you brave little woman. You darling. There we are. They're very musical up here in Wigan. Here we go. I want to broaden my horizons. I want to meet my public face to face.
Peggy has also appeared as herself in several films alongside actors including Clint Eastwood. Peggy is the mother of Lars Sandberg, better known to techno rave fans as Funk Devoid, a best-selling techno DJ artist who has produced countless albums of the genre, the most famous being Tech Noir. On the album Thank You, Peggy played the piano lines on the track Herbie on Roads, making her the oldest female techno recording artist in the world. In the later years of her career, after the demise of live musicians and music departments in broadcasting, Peggy kept working in theatre, recitals and concerts as an accompanist to artists like Moira Anderson and Kenneth McKellar. She also kept her jazz trio going and was involved in playing piano and celeste for light music and film music programs by larger orchestras such as the Royal Scottish National Orchestra and the Gordon Cree Concert Orchestra. Following an unsuccessful knee operation in 2004, during which she contracted a superbug and internal infection in the joint, Peggy was not mobile enough to be able to continue work. Now approaching 90 years of age, Peggy lives a quiet life in Glasgow, Scotland. Peggy O'Keefe, eminent pianist, bandleader, television and radio presenter, we welcome you to the Emmanuel College Inspiring Alumni.